All right, I'd like to welcome Keegan Bradley, the 2024 BMW Championship winner. Keegan, congratulations on your 7th victory on the PGA TOUR, second time winning this title. I guess just talk about the pressure coming down the stretch and getting this win across the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's winning on the PGA Tour is so difficult, and slept on the lead the last couple days. I did that at Hartford. I hadn't won that way since Hartford or Zozo, so it was it's a lot, man. It's a lot, especially knowing a couple bogeys here or there. I'm not even playing Atlanta, right. So but I'm really proud of the way I hung in there today. It was really tough, and I really played great.
And coming in here 50th on the FedEx standings, last man in the field, now you've moved up to 4th and you have a chance to win the FedEx Cup. Have you sort of comprehended that at this point?
Honestly, no. I'm in a bit of a state of shock because there was a time a week ago about this time that I didn't think I was going to be coming here. So I had to have a lot of magical things happen for me to just play in this tournament. And when I got here, I was so grateful just to be here. And I played with a real sense of calm all week, which is not the norm for me. So I really proud of the way that I played.
Okay, we'll start with questions. If you have a question, raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you, and we'll start with Doug and then Cameron.
Keegan, kind of along those lines, 7 wins in a PGA when you're a rookie, and a lot of things that have happened. Have you ever had anything turn so quickly in terms of where you were and now what's in front of you? And would you have thought, I mean, whether you want to talk about it or not, you're surely in consideration for a President's Cup pick. How did all this happen?
Yeah, it's so hard I can't even wrap my head around it. I really was in my hotel room in Memphis. I had a flight booked home to Jupiter, bags packed, and just in a state of shock that I wasn't going to be able to play in my favorite tournaments that I play in, that I've played in every year of my PGA Tour career. And then fast forward to this moment of now I gotta totally refocus here and try to win the FedEx Cup, and then talk to the vice captains. You know, I don't know where that's going to go, but I'm happy to play whatever role they want me to play. I think, being the Ryder Cup captain has put me into this category of sort of player when we haven't really had a Ryder Cup captain that's been playing full-time on the tour. And, one of my main goals was to make that President's Cup team. So we'll see. I hope I didn't throw a huge wrench in everybody's plans, but I'm proud to be in consideration.
All right, we'll go to Cameron on the left here.
Keegan, the 5-iron second shot that you hit on 17, where does that rank on your all-time best shots? And then secondly, can you speak a little bit to your comfort level of playing golf in the Mountain West?
That 5-iron was as pure of a golf shot as I've ever hit. I had 222 to the hole, adjusted with the 10%, and I hit my 5-iron about 212 yards. There's a little downwind, but on the previous hole, I hit 7-iron from 195 adjusted, and it just went forever. I think I was a little jacked up. And so we just decided to rip that 5-iron, and I hit it. I was aiming at the tongue of the bunker, and I hit it right there. And, it's one of those moments when you realize, you can hit these shots in contention when it matters most. And, to be able to pull that shot off, I mean, for me, that was the shot of the tournament and a shot that I'll remember forever. Yeah, I mean, I've played, my dad was a club head pro at Jacksonville Golf and Tennis. We played at this elevation a lot. And I don't remember much of it, but I do remember sort of the 10%. We played a 10% number the whole week. We got here Monday, really worked on it Monday, Tuesday. And, it was a perfect 10% the whole week. I never really hit a shot other than 17 where it was kind of a shock. But you really have to do a lot of calculations before you hit the shot, which can be difficult.
All right, we'll go to Paul and then Todd.
You finished runner-up at Charles Schwab earlier this year, but in the last couple of months, there wasn't kind of a warning that maybe this was coming. You've had a lot go on since then, but what had to happen this week to kind of find the game? Well,
to be honest with you, in the Pro-Am on the 3rd hole, I hit this 6-iron. It was blowing harder than it blew all week, and I just absolutely flushed it. And it came out right in my window, and it just flew exactly the way I wanted it to. And it was just like, I hit that shot, and was like, geez, that felt really good. And I'm to be honest with you, from that point on, I didn't really mishit a shot for 4 days, which doesn't happen a lot. I didn't putt that great this week, and I just struck the ball perfectly.
Can it flip that quickly? Just a shot?
Yeah, I won Hartford last year. I missed the cut by 5 shots at the U.S. Open. I really was grateful to be here. I haven't had that feeling of since I was a rookie, really. Being so grateful to play in the Memorial or Bay Hill tournaments I grew up watching. I came to the course here just skipping around. I just was so happy to be here, and it just helped me all week.
All right, we'll go to Todd and then to Bob.
Keegan, in 2014 at Cherry Hills at the BMW, it was quite a different experience for you. What are your recollections from what happened that year and decisions you had to make?
Well, I can't even. Yeah. I don't remember what happened. Is it the one I had to withdraw from? Yeah. I mean, it was a fluke ruling, and I felt like I needed to do that to protect the field. And it was a weird moment in my career, to be honest. But I probably shouldn't have done that. Looking back, I should have just played. But I felt like it was the right thing to do, and so that was a really weird moment in my career. But fast forward to come here and to win. This club is spectacular. The way they treat the players and the caddies, they should be really proud of the way that they treat the caddies this week and how the caddies are just taken care of, and that means a lot to all of us.
Was it weird because that was the first time you had faced that sort of thing in your career?
Yeah, it was just. I just felt like it was the right thing to do. I erred on the side of extreme caution, I'd say, but that's ancient history now. I actually forgot about it until just now.
Okay, Bob, go ahead.
Keegan, can you give a little more detail about last Sunday and what you were going through? And you said you had a flight back home. Were you sort of just like you were waiting there in Memphis to either go home or come here? And what were the emotions like? Were you sort of kicking yourself that you didn't do better, or how did it all go?
Yeah, I was devastated. I finished my round on Sunday. I'm walking the range. I'm looking at people that are warming up that are going to determine my future, really. And I packed up all my stuff. I got to the hotel. I booked a flight home. I didn't think I was going to make it. And I had the coverage on. I had my iPad on the featured holes. And I had my phone watching it. 2 separate times I had to unplug my phone because it got too hot from me refreshing every second. And it was just, I was picturing my next year of, not knowing where I was playing. It was going to be tough on my family, tough on me. I was really disappointed that I wasn't going to be out there with the guys with the Ryder Cup coming up. Picturing now I'm not going to be playing enough to travel to these tournaments, and I want to be in the final groups with these guys. I want to be, watch them make the cut on Friday. I want to see how they interact with their other players in the locker room, on flights to and from tournaments. Like, everything counts. So I was seeing that slipping away, really, and there was a point I was looking at the leaderboard late in the day, and I was like, I'm going to make it. And it was just surreal, and I rushed to the airport and came here.
Can you take the same level of, happy to be here to next week? I mean, as it turns out, you're only going to be 4 shots. Well, I know you don't want to give up any shots to Scottie Scheffler, but you did beat him by, I think, 13 this week. So, I mean, so you're only 4 behind him. I mean,
I know that is a little silly, but yeah, geez, I'll take it. I didn't think. I mean, when I showed up here this week, I honestly, I didn't think I'd be going to Atlanta. Scotty, my caddy, asked me if I wanted to know where I need to finish, and I said no, I don't. I still don't know, but I knew it had to be really high, and playing this week, like last week, I was looking at the leaderboard the whole time, and this week that was never on my mind. I was just trying to win the tournament, and maybe I can. I mean, I'm playing great. I feel very lucky to be at Atlanta and to make the Tour Championship 2 years in a row is a big deal.
Okay, let's go to Celia on the left here.
In big time moments, you have some of the best reactions. You seem to wear your emotions on your sleeve in those moments. Where does that emotion come from for you?
Well, when I'm playing golf, I'm always trying to push my emotions down, good or bad. So when I do have a chance to, winning on the 18th hole, I've only done it 7 times. And so I always try to take a second to really enjoy it, not underreact to a situation like that. Or, I really want to take everything in because I went a big stretch of my career not winning, and I took it for granted a little bit. So I just, to be able to let all that emotion out is what it's all about. It's all those hours of practice away from the family. That's what makes it all worth it.
We'll go to David on this side, then we'll bounce back here.
Keegan, when you were handed the Ryder Cup captaincy, I think in Europe there was a sort of feeling that maybe it was an acceptance we'd seen the best of you as a player, but we've probably got to change that view now. So do you think that if this form continues, being a playing captain is a realistic alternative?
Yeah, well, I know the people that elected me to be the Ryder Cup captain didn't feel that way. They made that clear to me. Not that I really care what they think. I'm proud to be the Ryder Cup captain, but I would love to be a playing captain. I know it's no one's really had the opportunity that I've had. I think you could have given Phil or Tiger a chance to be captain at my age, and they would have played on the teams, but it's never really had a chance to happen. So it's going to be really hard for me to make that team, but I'll if I make the team, I'll play. I don't see myself being a captain's pick, but I'll be proud to just be the captain. If I have to go out there and play, I'd love to do that too.
All right, we've got 2 questions here, and we'll go back to Paul.
On 14, when after the drive into the trees, how important was that second shot, and how to keep the round going, making par there?
Yeah, that was the worst shot I hit all week. It was I got it I hit it a little bit fadey, and it went with the wind, and I was really fortunate where it ended up. I still hit a pretty good shot to get it back in play, but another foot or 2, it was behind that tree. So that was a relief to get down there and see that I could get it out into the fairway. And then honestly, that was one of the best shots I've hit all week, because if I pull it a little, it goes out of bounds. And if I don't hit it hard enough, it could hit the tree or go in the rough, and I'm looking at 6 or 7. So that was a big moment in the day.
You mentioned being calm, and honestly, just kind of playing with house money here. How did you balance that vibe with, as you get deeper into the tournament, you got a shot to win, and not letting the pressure kind of creep in on you?
Yeah, well, this is my 14th year on tour. I've won 6 times, now 7. I've been in chances where I should have won and didn't, but I've been in these situations a lot. I kept telling myself that. And there were some guys on the leaderboard that hadn't done that on the tour, and I knew that was going to be tough for them. And, Adam's won 1,000,000 times. But I've been in these situations, and I've come from behind in one, I've been ahead in one, and I just kept telling myself that I've been in these situations before, and I've won and done it. And today was one of those days.
Go ahead, Paul.
Keegan, just wondering, your second shot on 15, hit that over the green, leaves you kind of in a horrendous spot in the bunker. Just wondering what you thought, both of what happened with that approach shot and then how you kind of assessed the bunker shot.
So first off, it's a really tough shot. And right when I hit it, the wind sort of laid down, and I was aiming right there, and the wind sort of laid down, and then it hit off the edge of the bunker and went to the back, and then Adam hit the same thing and went way over the green. So it's a tricky little section of the course where the wind is, and the wind just laid down on me a little bit. I was lucky to make 5 there.
And then just wondering, how much responsibility have you already had for the Ryder Cup, and how have you kind of tried to balance that with practicing and playing and getting ready for tournaments?
I just feel like, I have an obligation to some of the younger players to talk to them, get to know them a little more. Nothing that has been work by any means. It's actually been really fun for me to get to know Sahith and some of these younger guys that, that are just gotten out here. And, a guy like Cameron Young, you think he's been out here forever. This is only his 3rd playoffs. So, that's been the most of it. Little things like picking out the golf bag and stuff, but that's not hard work. I expect things to ramp up, and, I'm lucky to have Brandt and Webb to bounce ideas off of, and it's been great.
We'll go to Bob and then across to Tim.
Keegan, has the qualification process even been determined? I mean, is it going to remain as it was, or could there be tweaks to it? Have you guys even gotten into that yet?
We've gotten into it a little bit. I don't see there being any tweaks. I think the system, to finish in the top 6 is really difficult. So I don't think that those always identify the best 6, I think, on the U.S. side. The only weird area is the live guys, if, what they do and where they fall on the list. And, what we're going to have to really get with the captains, get with the team that's going to be there and figure that out. But I think the system works. I haven't heard from anyone, any previous captains, of any way they would change it. But we'll look into it.
You've not heard that the live guys are ineligible, have you? Is it like it was the last time? Can we assume that you have the option to pick them if you want?
Well, I mean, I'm going to have the best 12 players. So the PGA of America, we're going to have the 12 best players. So they need to figure that out if that's their problem. But I don't say that. I know you have to be a PGA member to play in the Ryder Cup. That's the only stipulation that you need. And so we'll make sure if some of those guys that we think might make the team, we'll make sure that they are a member.
All right, we'll go to Tim and then back to Doug.
Keegan, was it just your dad's job circumstance that he wasn't able to join you for one of your previous victories, and how gratifying was it for him to be here today?
Yeah, well, it comes to, a handful of tournaments a year. You just have to get lucky to be at one of these that you win at. You never know where you're going to win. I've been fortunate enough to have my family at almost all of my wins. So the only one I can think of that I was by myself was my first win with Byron Nelson, and then in Japan, which, no one was there. But it was great to have him here. It's a special thing to win on the PGA Tour, and it's something that you really have to cherish, and to have him here just makes it that much more special.
All right, let's wrap it up with Doug.
Two things, Keegan. I guess I could ask Mark since he's sitting back there, but how long has he been at Jackson Hole? Because it's been kind of weird to hear him mention the Wyoming State Amateur for a New England kid. But
yeah. Well, I when I went to St. John's, my college years, I would drive out to Wyoming, and I would work at the golf course, and I would play in the Wyoming State Amateur and the Wyoming Open. So I was out there for 3 summers, I believe. So I would get done with school in Queens, get in my Ford Focus, and drive for 3 days to Jackson. And work all summer, play golf and fish, and play in those local tournaments, and it was great.
Secondly, how old do you feel?
Well, it's so weird when I do these interviews after the round when everyone's calling me like, is it so? It's crazy that you're 38 years old, one of the oldest guys, and you're in the lead. I don't know how I went to that point. It seems to just have happened, but I still feel like I'm in the prime of my career. I feel like there's a lot of parts of my game that are the best it's ever been. And I feel like I got years ahead of me that I can, I wanted to make this Ryder Cup team at Bethpage before I was the captain, and that's always a goal of mine. So I feel like, I can still keep playing at a high level for a while.
That's 3 straight years with a win. Do you take any certain pride in that? I think it's
yeah, I do. I was actually thinking about that at the trophy presentation. 3 calendar years with the win is really amazing. I take a lot of pride in that, and I take a lot of pride in the quality of the tournaments that I do win. They're some of the best fields in the world.
Does everybody have what they need? Keegan, thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck next week at East Lake.
Thank you.